I traveled to the home of the floating islands in an open sea located on the eastern edge of mainland China in Dongtao. The 1,000 years of faith embrace the rich islands. I learned the attitude of the wise and strong at the Mazu Festival. As much as it is deep and rough, the land does not easily welcome people to walk on it. There, embraced at the highest point of Zhejiang, live the people of the mountains. I meet the great legacy produced by their unique ways of life. I am headed to China, a country close and familiar to Koreans. Although it has the smallest area among the 22 provinces, Zhejiang is a land where you can go face to face with the hidden potential of the continent. Today's journey begins a 5-hour drive away from Hangzhou in Longgenchun, located in southern Zhejiang. The road is very long and rough. However, the natural landscape that unfolds before me brings a breath of fresh air for this traveler. What kinds of people live deep in the heart of these mountains? After driving 5 hours with this anticipation, the road seemed endless, but layers of slanted fields cultivated by the human touch spread along the tall mountains. Today's first destination is Longgenchun. It is located 1,000 meters above sea level and is surrounded by large mountains. It's difficult to find any flat land here. It's a representative mountain village in Zhejiang. However, the mountains are high and the crystal clear waters flow without rest throughout the village. The residents live utilizing this. As I make my way to enter the village to find out how they live, I am captivated by the nostalgic landscape. There are ducks and various colors of carp living in the pond. There are carp even near the place where they wash their laundry. The presence of carp seems unusual. One of the village people is feeding the carp with some kind of peel. Why do the village people raise carp throughout the village? My curiosity grows, and I continue to walk around the village. I meet a woman catching carp in a pond. Gay Suan-mei, who has been raising these carp since birth, is moving the fish into the village fields. She does this in order to practice a farming method that has continued since approximately 700 years ago. The carp living in Longgenchun are called by another name. The carp live in the field. Why do they use gizzard shad in their farming?
这个鱼放在那个田里吃那个稻田里面的虫子，吃这个稻田里面那个稻花，这个田里面吃的这个田鱼打起来了很好吃。
It reminds me of farming techniques in Korea that use snails and ducks, which has been in the limelight for not using herbicides and for being eco-friendly. I'm becoming even more curious.
要种的吧，我就帮你拿吧。好吧？
不要了，不要了，不要了。
不用了，不用，这个可以的。去吧。你的田在哪儿啊？在这里前面吧？
就在前面的。
哦，这样的。哦。
The Terrace Fields were built hundreds of years ago by Longgenchun residents after mowing and trimming their mountains. It is where the carp raised by the residents will live as gizzard shad.
一条这样倒进去吗？
倒进去怎么放的？这样放的。
这个水啊，从中的里面这个上里面流下来的。
可以放的。잘 살아라.
Before harvest begins in September, these gizzard shads will eat the weeds and harmful insects and help the rice plants to ripen. The residents have great pride in this traditional farming method that dates back approximately 700 years.
我们这个稻田里那个养鱼，那个水一好，这个稻田的药水也没有倒。
Not harmful to nature and less work for the farmers. It's the joy of killing two birds with one stone. I can see why the residents refer to these gizzard shads as another group of farmers. It was an enjoyable time getting a glimpse of the wisdom of the mountain village farmers. Now I'm heading up higher to meet another group of people who live accepting nature as it is. (1,929 meters above sea level lies Longkuan Mountain, the highest mountain in Zhejiang, China. Its valleys are as deep as the mountain is high. Every bend of Longqian Mountain, which shares a long history with Zhejiang, unfolds with its hidden stories and its untainted natural state. After about an hour of climbing the mountain, I come across a secluded farmhouse that raises native bees at the foot of Longqian Mountain.
有人在吗？你们要这样的，可以看吗？可以。谢谢你。
Bai Jiwen's family comes to live in the mountains, come beekeeping season. But what is this white substance they're scooping out of the small holes?
这个是蜜蜡的。
这是就是那个 Royal Jelly
，Royal Jelly 的。
They say royal jelly is the secret as to why the queen bee lives 40 times longer than the worker bees.
可以尝一尝吗？
可以，你挑一下这个，挑出来。
It's an honor to taste the special royal jelly that the queen bee eats all throughout her life. But the taste is not what I expected.
有点酸，有点涩。
보통 블루꿀은 굉장히 단데 로얄 젤리는 약간 삽살이합니다. 약간 떫은 맛도 좀 있고 그렇습니다. 这个为什么这么苦呢？
这个味道是吧？
味道。
因为这个是风，它把收集的花，然后花粉、然后蜜之类的，它自己酿的，然后再吐出来的。
You can scoop out just 0.5 grams from one hole. How much do they need to collect?
这个一桶里头有多少斤的？
12斤.
아, 12斤나. 이 통 한 통이 한 6kg 정도 들어가고 있습니다. 오, 상당하네요.
Collecting the royal jelly is a meticulous task that requires a lot of hands-on work. However, the family is grateful to nature for being able to live comfortably without a big fortune.
이风力很少的，
所以温度高，它往下爬。
往下跑的。
Countless worker bees occupy this honeycomb. Each room is filled with larvae. The larvae are eating something.
这个是那个蜂王浆的。
是昨天刚刚做下去的。
那个女王蜂在哪里？女王蜂。
女王蜂在底下那。
最底下的。
The larvae that hatch from the eggs can feed on the royal jelly for only 4 days. The amount of royal jelly they eat decides which one will become the queen bee. After that, she will eat it for the rest of her life.
谢谢你，谢谢你，谢谢。
Before I know it, it's time to say goodbye.
再见，欢迎下次再来啊！
是的，再见了。
These people are humble rather than greedy before nature. It is said there is wisdom and faith that these people have built while living in the mountains for hundreds of years. I walk about 2 hours, following the path deep in the mountains. I come across a building that gives off an unusual aura. A man perfects his martial arts skills, as if swinging a sword with a wooden chair. I've seen many types of Chinese martial arts through books and movies, but I've never seen martial arts that involved using a chair. How did this martial art begin? I have to ask.
打什么功夫呢？
现在是我们做香菇的那防身术。
防身术。일종의 호신술입니다.
就是专门呢，我们在山上碰到一些歹徒来盗香菇的，就是扎贼用的。
可以跟你学一学吗？
可以啊。
可以吗？
可以。
真的吗？
当然可以。
真的？
真的。
真的吗？
这个扁担弓呢，绑担呢，应该这样拿。
这样拿。
做啊，这样。
这样。
哎，这样转过去，这样套下来，就这样。冲出去要有力的。
这样的。
这一条呢，那个步伐要稳，应该这样。要这样转过去。
I mimic as Zhou Kui instructed me, but I only embarrass myself.
상당히 힘들어요.
好了，休息一下。
위로 올려라 이렇게 올려라 그럼 이렇게.
As I take position to restore my reputation, he confirms it's martial arts for self-defense, not for making attacks.
우리가 농촌에서 일반적으로 볼 수 있는 이런 기물을 가져와서 사용하는 것이 굉장히 특이합니다.
Martial arts for self-defense began in the past in order to protect the village from bandits. In other words, there was much to loot off of the village. What the thieves sought after were different types of mushrooms that grew in the mountains. In actuality, Lanka is famous in China for its mushroom cultivation. There is a wide range in temperature daily and a high level of humidity, perfect for mushrooms to grow. Nevertheless, the more often the bandits attacked, the stronger the residents became. Were the bandits in the past as hopeless as I am now? He doesn't give me a chance.
어떻게 생각하면 딱 한 번에 쉽게 이렇게 때릴 수 있을 것 같은데 딱 제대로 때릴 수가 없습니다.
After the inevitable one-sided sparring, Zhao Kui leads me to a place the village people have considered sacred for generations, the shrine where their ancestral tablets are kept. This is the most important ancestral shrine in the village.
여기에 현판에 보시면 샹고 서주 그 버섯의 시조라는 그런 글자가 있습니다. 저 중앙에 있는 5분들은 버섯을 처음 전해준 5명의 형제고, 저 양쪽에 있는 것은 버섯 재배에 대해서 많은 가르침과 도움을 준 명나라 때 사람입니다.
Thus, mushrooms first came to this place during the Song dynasty, which is about 1,000 years ago. There is a tradition in China where they deify people who help the country. The residents worship the 7 forefathers with their hearts and souls every day. It is faith in itself. Everywhere I set foot on Longkuan Mountain is filled with old legends. My curiosity about the many faces of this mountain grows, and I decide to climb to the peak. I'm on my way to the peak that is 9,000 meters above sea level. I get off to a great start. However, as the climb continues, the path becomes more treacherous, and my legs grow heavier as I run out of breath. How much have I walked so far? I meet people on the way who are coming down from climbing the peak.
야, 하야多少米啊？
大概还有400米路，应该400米。
해발 높이로 100m 정도 남았고요. 걸어서 가면 한 300m 내지 400m 정도 남았습니다. 정상이 아주 가까이 왔습니다. 上面的상이那风景怎么样呢？
一个字美，太美，2个字太美了。
아, 한 글자로 말하면美, 아름답다. 두 글자로 말하면 太美, 아주 아름답다.
就是有点累了。
다만 조금 피곤한 편입니다. 아, 谢谢你，再见了，拜拜，拜拜，拜拜。
Anyone can become friends while hiking. I give all my strength to climb to the peak.
1920m.
With a mere 9 meters left to go, I can see the highlands spread before my eyes.
저 앞에 정상이 보입니다. 피칭이 씌워져 있네요. 장저第一高峰, 이것이 강남에서 가장 높은 봉우리. 용천산입니다.
The landscape is graceful, as if layers of a folding screen are spread out before me. Facing this living landscape reminds me of a poem.
눈날에 높은 산이 겹쳐져 있네. 저 푸른 소나무처럼 내 인생도 영원히 푸르졌으면 얼마나 좋을려나.
The mountain's presence itself is a sanctuary of the heart and the subject of awe. The sun begins to set behind Longkuan Mountain. After descending the mountain, I arrive in another city embraced by Longkuan Mountain. It's a place where you can witness scenery that is most Chinese. The people gathered in the city square are practicing the Chinese national physical exercise, Tai Chi. As the country where martial arts originated, the skills of middle-aged women are exceptional. But Tai Chi here is a little bit different compared to Tai Chi in other cities. I decide to ask what it was.
你好，你好。刚刚你们这个演习的是那
这是我们
个跳什么舞？
本地的剑，龙泉七星剑。
啊，
本地的。
这种剑法啊，这个
这就是龙泉的七星剑。
啊，龙泉的七星剑的。哦，1、2、3、4、5、6、7。
对，这是七星。
The Big Dipper is engraved on the blade.
龙泉的宝剑全市有名了哈，世界闻名。
The Chi-Ching Sword has been used since Chinese ancient times. I can see they have great pride for this sword. In actuality, the Chi-Ching Sword is famous for being given as a gift to enemies that visit China from all over the world. The home of the Chi-Ching Sword is Longkuan. This blacksmith's workshop has a long history of making Chi-Ching swords for many generations. Their hammering teamwork is quite impressive. Next, they sprinkle white powder on the metal.
你刚刚这个放的东西是什么？红砂。啊？红砂特制的，我们特制的。
I wanted to know what the power was, but they said it is top secret. I am able to feel the pride and respect they had for the swords through their discretion. As I exit the workshop, I meet another sword craftsman. He says he only does this work all day.
你叫什么了？你叫什么了？
毛尖啊，毛尖。
The sword craftsmen in Longkuan do not use any machinery in their process of making the swords. The paper is split with a single stroke. It must be the result of continuing tradition.
종이를 자를 정도로 아주 날카롭습니다.
稍微短一点。
你已经磨成了几天了？
磨了3天了。
어.
还要磨。
어.
还要磨。
이미 3일 동안 이슬 갈았는데 아직도 며칠 동안 더 갈아야 된답니다. 啊，这是龙泉宝剑吗？
对，这就是龙泉宝剑。
This is the Chi-Ching Sword, a worldly sword that surpasses China.
哦，可以一个是。哦。
可以看一看。
哦。
上面的也都有花纹。
哦。
这个就是百炼钢的工艺。
哦。
仔细的看的话，上面都有花纹。
哦。
I could feel the sweat and mindset of the craftsman.
龙泉宝剑已经有2600多年的历史了，始于春秋战国时期。看到这里森林茂密，河水刚烈，很适合铸剑，所以河里面的铁鹰边上的那个航泉，加上那个亮石，就是母剑的石头，所以这个几大主要的原材料都具备，所以最后呢，他就定在龙泉这个地方开始铸剑。
There's a reputation of 1,000 years that was produced by the nature of Long Kuan and the sweat of its people. There is a ritual every sword goes through once it is made.
祖师爷在上，要容量做把龙泉宝剑进献给你。
The Chi-Ching Sword has not only become the pride of Long Kuan, but also of China. It is a long, ongoing tradition practiced by the descendants, paying respect and gratitude to their ancestors, who pass on this excellent sword. The descendants tell me they have more to show me. It is impossible to determine the true value of the Chi-Ching Sword, but they want to show me a part. It's a moment of confirming the power of the Chi-Ching Sword, which shook the Chinese martial arts.
这个你煎的时候，煎的时候，你感觉怎么样呢？
感觉很锋利，不需要很用力。这次的感觉，它能达到我的满意的效果，很锋利。你也可以试。
Its pulse hasn't stopped in the last 2,600 years or so, and today the sword is born again. The Chi-Ching Sword, with its strong vitality, is in my hand now.
아, 저도 임경업 장군이 공천검을 가진 임경업 장군처럼 대장부가 된 그런 느낌이 듭니다. 이것은 용천보검.
Liu Longyang prepares for another demonstration. The tension rises around us. This time, it is a metal bar.
와, 나.
切口平整。
이 끝을 한번 보시기 바랍니다. 이렇게 날카롭게 잘렸습니다.
砍这里这个位置，刚才。
방금 이것이 잘랐던 장소입니다.
It cut through the metal and chopped the wood.
검은 조금 더 상처를 나지 않았습니다.
It's worthy of its name as the world's best sword.
这个我们热处理，经过热处理特殊的工艺制作。
Leaving the legendary Chi-Ching Sword with over 1,000 years of tradition behind me, I set off in search for an even older story in Zhejiang. The final destination of this journey is Mount Jianglang, located in the western part of Zhejiang. After a 3-hour drive, I arrive in Quozhou, Zhejiang. After driving a long time on the highway, 3 mountain peaks that look like stone pillars suddenly appear. This Mount Jianglang, a national Chinese scenic landscape. 824 meters is not very high, but it was listed as a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site in 2010 due to the terrain cliff created by the many years of weathering and erosion.
풍경이 참 상당히 좋습니다.
This deep valley is called a Strang of the sky. It is the path located between the three peaks I saw in the car.
이곳이 이시엔텐입니다. 하늘로 통하는 유일한 물입니다. 이것을 통과하면은 하늘에 도착할 것입니다. 놀랐습니다.
The width measures no wider than 3 meters. Still, it boasts a grandeur of 200 meters in height.
불가사의합니다. 아마 원래 한 파이였는 것 같은데 둘로 쪼개져서 이런 아름다운 절경이 형성되었습니다.
This mysterious terrain was created over millions of years by rain and wind. The people in this region believe 3 brothers transformed into big rocks after climbing the mountain together. Perhaps it's their attempt to understand the unknown balance of nature through this legend. The people also create a path and built a bridge in order to climb this divine mountain.
이것을 어떻게 사람이 만들다니 참 대단합니다.
It's said to be so rough that they say you sweat once climbing up and once more going down. This is Mount Jianglang, the mountain that makes you sweat twice. I'm finally at its peak. The mountain does not give away its peak so easily. It shows much to someone who climbs it after much suffering. Many people climb this mountain for that same reason.
感觉很壮观，爬到这么高的山上来看，感觉山下都一切变得很渺小了，非常非常壮观。
Mount Jianglang, that soars to the highest point and embraces the lowest ground, offers hope to this land.
幸福香山, 美丽中国, 행복한 강산, 아름다운 중국.
This mountain embraces a countless number of lives and mysteries. People are able to live another day because of the mountain's embrace.